Welcome back to Gillis TV. Today we got some injury news for the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman scoring 50. We'll talk about how that is. And, just overall play about the Edmonton Oilers this past weekend and what they need to improve on. So welcome back to Gillis TV. If you're new to the channel, like anything Oilers, NHL, MLB related things, we do cover that on the channel, from trades, news, rumors, injuries, whatever there is. Pre-games for the Oilers, post-games for the Oilers. Huge Oilers fan here if you couldn't get that over the course of that. But if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, as we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, just need 222 more. That'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's start off with the 50-goal man himself, Zach Hyman, scoring his 50th goal last night. Would have been a lot sweeter if it was against Toronto, but in any words, congrats to Zach Hyman becoming the third oldest player to hit the 50 goal plateau in the NHL. Of course, Ovechkin is probably one of them. I'm not too sure who the other one is. But Zach Hyman, the way the team celebrated with him after last night's 50th goal, the ref even giving McDavid the puck, knowing the circumstances of Zach Hyman scoring 50. It's a great year, but too bad they couldn't get the win last night. Which leads us to kind of the second point here. What happened this weekend to the Edmonton Oilers? Can't really explain really what happened. Defensive breakdowns, Chychrun scoring 2 last night where you knew it was coming. Why wouldn't you go cover the guy, I guess you could say? I know it's a lot easier said than done, but if they just did that play in one power play, they're probably going to do it again because they already just scored on it. It's like when the Oilers try and set up Draisaitl 24/7 on that side. Teams are starting to cover it because they know eventually it's coming, and the Oilers didn't do that with Jacob Chychrun. But hey, it is what it is. The Oilers on a 2-game losing streak, going into Winnipeg tomorrow, where the Winnipeg Jets are on a 3-game slide right now. Could be a good game for that. Defensively, the Edmonton Oilers need to step it up again. These last 2 games were not worth it. Not good games at all. The third period against the Leafs were good, but we can't just show up for 20 minutes out of the whole 60 minutes. We just can't do that. And against Ottawa, I believe, the first 2 periods were good, and then third period collapse on a team that doesn't really collapse in the third period. But it is what it is, and you know what? We take it with a grain of salt. We'll move on to the Winnipeg Jets game. Now, on injury news, a lot of people said, hey, when's Jack Campbell going to get called up? Are you expecting Jack Campbell to be with the Edmonton Oilers roster? Blah, blah, blah. He is now injured. Jack Campbell took a puck off the mask in practice on Friday. Bakersfield has recalled Ryan Fanti to help with that. They did have an e-bug for last night's game. I believe it was last night or Saturday night's game. 41-year-old emergency backup. So Jack Campbell is injured right now. The fact that we are asking if Jack Campbell's going to be with the Edmonton Oilers, I believe when the rosters kind of expand for the playoffs, I could see Jack Campbell coming up, as there is no salary cap room. That's why Vegas gets away with a lot of things. But I believe that's when you'll see Jack Campbell with the Edmonton Oilers in case of a goalie injury. They don't have to use an emergency e-bug or, other reasons for that too. Just kind of get him back in the NHL form in case of that. I don't see Jack Campbell with this injury. I'm not speculating, but when you get hit with the puck in the mask, it has to be either concussion or neck stiffness. That's pretty much what it is. I've had that happen to me. It sucks. You're pretty much non-existent for the first few days. Can't really do anything, so I'm not speculating, but if it is a concussion, he's probably in protocol and resting right now. So hopefully Jack Campbell gets healthy. You never like to see a guy get injured, no matter how you feel about him. Seeing a guy from your team or even the AHL get injured that could have a big impact on your team is something we don't like to see. So just going into Jack Campbell's numbers since going down to Bakersfield, I know a lot of people seen the video surface of probably the flukiest shootout goal you'll ever see in the AHL, NHL, whatever. That one where he saved it, went off the glass off of him and back into the net. That was kind of fluky. There's nothing Jack Campbell could really do about that. like I said, that's the flukiest goal I've ever seen per se in that sort of that thing. So yeah, so going into Jack Campbell's stats, he's 16-12 with 3 shutouts in the American Hockey League, posting a .258 goals against and 920 save percentage. His confidence was there before this injury, probably still is. He's been playing pretty good down there after the shaky start he had when he was down there. Sorry, phone was going off. His shaky start, but he has turned things around in Bakersfield. And like I said, I see him being a third goalie coming for the playoffs in case Skinner gets hurt, Calvin Pickard gets hurt, something's not going right with the Edmonton Oilers. 1-2 of those things could be a factor why Jack Campbell could be coming up to the NHL roster once they expand for the playoffs. So we got to get to the playoffs first. I believe, there's 13 games left for the Edmonton Oilers. A couple tough competition games. I believe there's 2 against the Avalanche, 1 against the Kings, 1 against Vancouver, 1 against Vegas. So a couple tough games in the schedule, but a couple easy ones too. And then, of course, the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night in Winnipeg, I believe that game is. So I could see that being a 6-7 o'clock start. I haven't really checked that out. But that's kind of it for me today. Just a quick little injury update, Zach Hyman appreciation, and whatnot. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. Have a good one.